Hey folks, it's Woody here over at USA Made Blade, and we are going to do something a little different today. It's been a while since I've made a longer video, and I was sitting around today thinking about these two knives. And for personal reasons, to be honest, but let's talk about the Mini Goblin from Koenig knives and the Mini Arius from Koenig knives. Let's take a look at the two of them together. One of the reasons I want to do this video is because it's just so rare that we have both of these knives in stock at the same time. It's been always in the past that Koenigs just fly out the door, but with the current economy and things like that, knives are sticking around a little bit longer. So this gives us a really good opportunity to do a video on these two and talk about them a little bit. So this is the Mini Arius. This is the smaller version of the full-size Arius, which I don't have one in stock to show you, but you get the idea. It's just a smaller version. Absolutely gorgeous knife. And then this is the Mini Goblin, another absolutely gorgeous knife. And they are, as you can see looking at them, you can tell there's definitely a lot of similarities as far as pretty close on overall size. We're going to get into that in a few minutes, but definitely some similarities on just the finishes and the overall look, definitely the build quality, things like that. Koenig just does everything to perfection. I've harped on that in so many videos because it's just true. He just doesn't leave anything out. He's OCD as it comes about knives. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about the Mini Arius first. So let's give, actually, you know what? You can tell I have no plan on this video because let's just give you specs back and forth here. So overall blade length, some of this might surprise you just because it's hard to tell. Let's also, while we're doing this, see if we can straighten these up a little bit. Maybe that'll help. So you can see my cheat sheet waving in the corner over here, but overall blade length. So on the Mini Arius, the overall blade length is 3 inches, whereas on the Mini Goblin, it is actually 3.125 inches. So the Mini Goblin's actually got a little bit longer blade on it than the Mini Arius. Cutting edge, once again, on the Mini Arius, we're going to be 2.8 inches. And then on the Mini Goblin, we're going to be 3 inches. So there's actually more cutting edge here than on this one. Closed on the Mini Arius, we are 4.25. And on the Mini Goblin, we are 4 inches. So you get a lot more knife in the handle on the Mini Goblin. That's something to consider. Overall length, we are 7.25 on the Mini Arius, so it is longer, and we are 7.125, so 1/10 of an inch. Guys, we're talking about minute amounts of inches here being the difference. And then the other big difference is, or the other differences on the specs here, is we're talking 3.25 on the Mini Arius as far as weight, 3.25 ounces. And on the Mini Goblin, 3.72 ounces. So we're actually about half an ounce heavier. That might surprise people. I think there's some differences with that, is that when you look at these two and you kind of look at them in separate pictures, I always feel like, and hell, even looking at it on the video right now, the Mini Arius looks bigger. It looks like it'd be, honestly, the heavier of the two knives. So it's this shape down handle. It's this Warney style blade here that really just gives you a lot of knife going into that handle, and you can see where that tip comes all the way up. Whereas with that drop point, you definitely have to extend that handle out a little bit more, so you can see there's still a good bit more handle in there where that tip comes down, but not much. I mean, Bill packs it all in there as best he can, but shocking to me just kind of the differences between these two. So which one do you pick? Which one, as a dealer, as somebody who's trying to sell you these, we of course hope you'll pick both. And I think a lot of people who own Koenig knives own both of these variants because they're just so amazingly done. But it really comes down to, I think the number one thing is going to be looks. Which one do you like the looks of better? So that's going to be the number one factor for anybody buying a knife. If you don't like the looks of it, you're probably not going to be interested in buying it. So let's say that you think they're both beautiful like I do. Then from there, it's really going to come down to what you're going to use it for. If you're just going to enjoy flipping it, Guys, just pick one. I mean, flip a coin, because they are both just absolutely stellar with the action. I mean, that's the thing about Koenigs. Sorry, this is hard to do behind the camera, but the action on Koenigs is just amazing. So, you know, when it comes to flipping, if that's all you're going to do with them, pick the one you like the most. I will say, and look, Koenig's action, detents, everything else are perfect on every single knife. And this is a minute difference. But I will say, when we got these mini Ariuses in on this most recent batch, the detents on these are even another level. There's just a subtle amount of extra tightness to it that just has these things. Everything about them seemed even just smoother, which I didn't think was possible. But they have been just absolutely perfection on these mini Ariuses. So if you're buying from us, and flipping and action and all those little details are the thing that are going to take you over the top, right now with the ones we have in stock, you might want to lean a little bit more towards the mini Arius, but that's going to be up to you. So let's say the next factor that's going to come down to which one are you going to buy. If that factor is which one is going to feel better in the hand, let's go ahead and address that. So on the mini Arius, you obviously get more fill here in the handle. So I can get all 4 fingers on here, no problem. Feels really good in the hand. No issues there whatsoever. On the mini Goblin, surprisingly same thing. I've got pretty big hands, and I have no problem still getting the pinky down here on the bottom. I would say out of the two, I mean, they both fit the hand, especially for their smaller size. They both fit the hand really, really well. But out of the two, I'd probably give a little bit of an edge to the mini Arius. Not much, but a little bit of an edge. Excuse me, I've had a cold or COVID or something. But anyway, the next question that I think you got to ask yourself if you're trying to decide between these two is, if you're going to use it, what are you going to use it for? You know, if you've carried the difference between a drop point blade and a Warney style blade, then you know how effective and usable that tip is. So if you're doing a lot of cutting where, say you got, let me put something down here, and let me get mine out of my pocket so I can show you guys. But on the mini area, on the mini Goblin, if you're putting something down and cutting across it, you're gonna see that this is, if you're doing a lot of this type of cutting where you're using that tip a lot, and use the tip of your knife a lot, then mini Goblin is going to be the way to go. If you are one that likes to use the meat, the belly of the blade a lot more, then I got to give the edge there to the Koenig mini Arius. So, but like I've said, with neither one are you going to go wrong. They're both wicked sharp. They both have great tips, great edges. You can definitely use both, no problem. So honestly, the verdict here is it really comes down to which one appeals to you the most. And if you just can't decide, that's when I say you get the coin out of the pocket and flip it. But we have some absolutely beautiful versions of both the mini Goblin and the mini Arius in stock right now. So we hope this video helps some, and we hope you'll go over and check them out, because they are absolutely incredible knives. And we know they're expensive, but they're damn well worth it, because Bill just puts his heart and soul into every knife that leaves there. So we hope this video helped you. I appreciate you watching, and you can go over to USA Made Blade and check them out.